For more than 2 decades, Joey Miller, new Braunfels-based investment advisor, has worked closely with individuals who want to make thoughtful decisions about where and how they invest. He doesn't limit himself to spreadsheets or screen time, but grounds his work in personal relationships, structured planning, and a commitment to showing up for the people he serves. Over the years, he's logged thousands of miles, traveling to more than 40 states to meet with clients in person and evaluate investments on site. This is a reflection of the way he sees his role, not only as someone who manages money, but as someone who helps people move forward with a financial plan they fully understand. With experience as a fund manager, options trader, educator, due diligence officer, and general partner on over 50 real estate assets, Miller brings both depth and structure to his work. These roles require different skill sets, but what they do have in common is the need for accuracy, discipline, and responsiveness, qualities that continue to guide how he works with each client. Timing a move before the numbers change. One of the clearest examples of Miller's forward-thinking approach is how he helps clients use Roth IRA conversions to reduce future tax liability on real estate investments held in retirement accounts. For instance, if a client invests $50,000 in a real estate development through a traditional IRA, Miller often recommends transferring that investment into a Roth IRA partway through the project, ideally before the asset appreciates significantly. At the time of conversion, the client pays taxes on the original $50,000. If the asset performs as expected and increases in value, potentially reaching $90,000 or $100,000, the gains are held within the Roth account and are not taxed again. This timing allows the client to pay taxes on the lower initial value while securing the long-term benefit of tax-free growth. This strategy is dependent on accurate planning and an understanding of the project timeline as well as tax law. Miller's role is to monitor the window for action, guide the conversion process, and ensure the client understands how the decision fits into their overall financial plan. Reading the signs instead of relying on assumptions. Miller closely observes market conditions that affect client decisions. He notes that current trends point to an overvalued stock market, a prolonged dip in natural gas prices, and reduced real estate activity due to elevated mortgage rates. Those rates are tied to the 10-year Treasury yield, which remains high and continues to influence lending costs. Although a stronger economy under a new administration might eventually create space for those numbers to move, Miller doesn't base his clients' financial plans on hope or mere predictions. Rather, he builds strategies around measurable realities, such as current interest rates, tax environments, available investment options, and a person's specific financial goals. Taking this calculated, fiscally conservative approach allows each of his clients to move forward with confidence and clarity, even when the market headlines sound uncertain. Miller always places higher importance on structured, low-risk planning over reactionary decision-making, understanding the potential weight of certain financial choices. Because he sees the value in educating his clients, they're free to ask questions, explore multiple paths, and weigh every factor before making changes. This open, honest process leads to plans that are deliberate and durable, even in less than ideal conditions. Choosing systems that prioritize stability throughout his career, Joey Miller, new Braunfels financial advisor, has favored dependable systems over aggressive experimentation. He describes his process as 90% practical and 10% creative, regularly encouraging his team to explore developments in technology. To him, it's up to the advisor to stay current on trends and new ideas in order to serve clients as effectively as possible. When he or his team is considering new tools like CRM platforms, electronic document systems, or research software, they're carefully tested before being integrated into daily use. This ensures that every tool or process proves that it's useful before being added to the client experience. The goal is not to constantly overhaul the system, but to build on what works. Miller sees predictability and clarity as essential qualities in how investment planning is done and how trust is maintained over time. Once those new systems are implemented, feedback helps inform the team whether they're moving in the right direction or need to shift direction. Personalized plans that reflect individual goals. Miller works with clients who bring a wide range of financial goals and risk tolerances. Some are preparing for retirement, others want to reduce their tax exposure, and many are looking for dependable, long-term strategies. No two plans are completely alike. Rather than starting with a fixed template, Miller begins by listening. He evaluates each client's comfort with risk, their timeline, and their priorities. From there, He designs a model that reflects those factors, carefully explaining how the plan will work and how it can change if needed. Although creativity isn't usually a primary focus in his field, Miller still recognizes the role it can play when building individual plans. Each person's needs require careful attention to detail and flexible thinking. What stays consistent is the emphasis on practicality and outcomes that are clearly comprehended from the beginning. Making complex ideas easier for clients to understand. For Joey Miller, New Braunfels may be his home base, but he wants to reach people all across the country by making investing feel more approachable. At the moment, he's writing a book that speaks directly to something he's seen often in client conversations: confusion around the language of investing. Terms like capital stack, cap rate, leverage, and risk-adjusted return are used regularly, but they're rarely clearly explained. The book, which he expects to be finished in the first half of the year, will break down these terms in everyday language. It's meant to serve as a reference, not a replacement for advice, but a tool that helps clients feel more comfortable participating in the investing discussion. The project isn't his first book, and it builds on years of educational work that Miller has already done through group trainings, seminars, and other events. As someone who has been invited to speak on economics and investing at industry events throughout the U.S., helping people understand their options is a natural part of his job. With Series 22, 63, and 65 licenses, Miller understands the technical side, and knows how helpful it can be to simplify it for those who don't. Building relationships and systems built to last. Joey Miller, New Braunfels resident, has always been driven by a sense of responsibility to the people he works with and the people waiting for him back at home. When he's in New Braunfels, he enjoys spending time with his wife, Kristen, and their 4 children. He also likes to take fishing trips to Alaska and participate in reining, an equestrian sport. For Miller, one of the great rewards in life is knowing that people trust him to walk them through decisions that matter. His career is defined by years of hard work, perceiving what people need, and creating plans that are dependable. That internal motivation to be there for others is what continues to guide how he shows up for those in his life, both personally and professionally.